Alright everybody, welcome back. So today I have something for you guys. Another real steel. This is my second real steel. And I gotta tell you, man, this knife company, I don't know how to feel about it, really, to be honest with you. I mean, don't get me wrong, I like the execution of what they do. So let's talk blades, everybody. That's what we're into. Today I have for you guys the real steel Archangel, excuse me. Archangel. Bam, there it is. Micatra. This one's the blacked out Micatra version. Cool knife. Freaking cool knife. I really do enjoy this knife. I really do. Here's the thing. Chad Los Baños. I like his knives. The only other knife that I have from him is the Ippon. And I very much enjoy that knife. The only thing is I don't carry it that often because the screws on the pocket clip are raised too high, and it makes it very difficult for the deep carry pocket clip to function properly. But the screws on the handle are flush to the handle. So, Chad, fix that, bro. You gotta fix that, man. You gotta make all those screws flush, because getting that fabric to go over those screws under that deep carry pocket clip is a hassle and a half. Should be able to slide in and out of the pocket with no problem, and that's, in jeans it sucks. Might work for some people, but not everybody, and I'm one of those people. So, anyways, back to this one. This one kind of turned me back on to real steel, because after that knife experience, I kind of lost interest in real steel. So let's open this up. Let's see what's inside. You got your foam protective thing, kind of like a Spyderco thing, wannabe, whatever. Real steel, and I do like this. It's like a printed out version of their knife system. How they, liner lock, bottom lock, it's all upside down. Liner lock, bottom lock, frame lock, back lock, and then of course on the back you got your knives. So this one we're going to be doing is the Archangel, but this one's the this one's the regular version, and then here's the Ippon. So those are the only two real steel knives that I have. Drop that right there. And then of course you got your specs information, you got your warranty thing, kind of just a welcome in different languages. And then here are the specs. So the locking mechanism, liner lock, blade steel D2, blade length is 3.90, blade thickness is 0.12, excuse me. Blade handle materials, canvas micarta, open is 8.90. Altogether, the weight is 4.30. So I'm going to go ahead and test that theory out. Obviously, I'm going to put out my my own little take on the knife, and we'll go from there. Very excited about this. I love the name to this knife. It's very fitting for this knife. And one thing that I absolutely love about their execution, and what I mean by that, is whenever they pack a knife, they don't throw it inside of a plastic bag inside of a box. You got your coffin thing going on, if you're interested in that, and it's wrapped in microfiber cloth. That's a nice touch. Instead of throwing it in a plastic bag or in a bubble wrap thing, you wrap it in microfiber cloth. That's a nice touch. That's one thing that I absolutely adore about this company when they do that. It's just nice. Open it up, and there's your knife. So not only do you get a free microfiber cloth, but you don't have to worry about all that access trash, even though, the box and all that other stuff you're probably not going to keep. You're just going to throw it away. Anyways, I'm going to get that out of the way. So here's the knife. I really do like that micarta. That is a nice touch. Very nice touch. I'm digging the micarta handles that the Chinese manufacturers are coming out with. They're just nice. It's not overly grippy. Actually, I shouldn't say it's not overly grippy. It's not really grippy at all, but you can feel it. It just doesn't have that much. I mean, the shape and everything is there. Deep carry wire pocket clip. That is a nice touch. That's what really kind of got me going on this. So you can flip it. You can have it right hand or left hand carry if you so choose. Open pillar construction, so you can clean it up. D2 on the blade, I guess that's fine. And of course you got your real steel on the front, and Chad Los Baños' little insignia right there, maker's mark, whatever. That's really cool. And two things I like about the blade. One, it's blacked out, which means it's going to attract less attention. It's going to be a little bit more tactical, if I could, label it any other way. And two, it's just another added protection because of the D2 steel not being corrosion resistant. So having that extra oomph on there means that you don't have to worry about it as much. The only thing that's exposed is obviously the cutting edge. But that's absolutely fine to me. That just, I don't have to worry about it that often. So that's really, really neat. Another thing, it's a liner lock. So one thing that I do like about liner locks is when you can access the liner lock, but even more so, they jimp the liner lock itself. So that way you can actually get a grip in there, push it down, and close it. And this thing is very drop shutty, so that's pretty good. That's really, really nice. So, be that as it may, it is a knife that does not have thumb studs. It does not have any other deployment method other than the actual flipper right here. And they even jimped the flipper, so you can actually get that on the fly. Now, when I first got this, when I first opened the box, I have to admit, the thing I didn't like was that the detent on this knife is kind of weak. And I'm not trying to bash on it at all. It's just having these grooves right here, and I'll show you what those are for and how they work with me. Everyone's going to have their own take on this specific knife. If they, feel it's necessary to talk about, I will talk about it. But having this right here prevents this from actuating at its full potential, and I'll show you why. If you are holding this for the first time and you go to flip it open, you see what I mean? It kind of cuts you off halfway. So you don't get that full draw, that full open that it's supposed to have. And that can also be due to the fact that the detent isn't as strong as I feel it should be. So, but if you confidently light switch it, it'll open up just fine. And you can even, if you feel like you have to, I've been kind of playing with it on and off, and even just doing just normal strokes with it, I can find myself 9 times out of 10 getting it open. Now that other 1% seems to be just this hump kind of preventing me to really get a good, with a weak thrust in there to get it to open up. But it still opens nonetheless. So if you need to, you can put a tiny bit of wrist flick in there, and that also helps the momentum keep going, so that way it opens up the knife confidently, and that's fine. So, yeah, it's not bad, but those grooves are very interesting, and they work for a specific reason. So I'll get into that, but first let's get into the specs of the knife first, so that way you know what you're getting yourself into. Now, this is a budget knife, so around, depending on where you go, I went to Blade HQ, you're looking at between 70 and 80. Okay, 4.28 ounces. All right. Still, under 5 ounces, magnificent. See, I did that with a little wrist flick because I knew that when I light switched it, I did it too weak. So my muscle memory just kind of made me want to do just a slight wrist flick. Not a huge thing, but So the blade, I almost want to say it's damn near 4 inches. Overall, I want to say 9, but 9 is still, it's being too generous. 8 7/8? Not bad. Not bad at all. And it is on roller bearings. Now, if you don't know what that is, they're not like ball bearings. Roller bearings are kind of like, picture a rolling pin, but several of those shrunken down to being kind of the size of a bead, about that big at least. And they're all lined up in there, doot, in a circle. And yeah, it operates just like ball bearings, but roller pins, basically, under there. So that's really cool, the little rectangle kind of things, and they actuate just the same. So, cool thing about this knife, I have to say is that it's decently slim. So let me get out the calipers. Go ahead and get on the blade right there at a 1.3 millimeters on the blade, and on the handle you are looking at a 10.3. All right, not bad, not bad. And because it's micarta, it's gonna wear like an old pair of jeans. If you like that sort of thing, it's gonna be fantastic. Another thing I really do like about this knife that I kind of find a thumbs up is the milling on the inside of the knife is good for weight reduction, and they did that. Ooh, they did that pretty splendidly. Trying to be careful with the edge because it's pretty darn sharp, and I hope I didn't. My mat looks like it's fine. It's probably just. I know this thing is like stupid sharp, so I'll go ahead and cut some paper too, so you guys can see how sharp it is. But yeah, that milling makes it to where this thing is super light, and that is a huge plus. So, on the grip, now the reason why these are here, okay, someone told me that I can go for a saber grip to the very back. My thumb goes here, finger goes here, and I have that extra reach if I need that. Another is right here, so I can kind of choke up a little bit without having to move my finger out of the main choil right there, and it fits. And what's really funny about this is that when I actually have my hand in this position, the meat of my hand goes pretty well in here, and my thumb goes pretty well in here without it having to be too much raised on a normal knife. So this actually feels better and more natural. Not to mention, when you have it in a hammer grip, the meat of your hand right here goes into this notch pretty well, and it locks in place. So that makes the knife that much more comfortable in hand while you're holding this marvelous piece. So, and you have all that handle to slide down if you want to go for that forward, saber grip with that extra amount of reach if you ever need that. Really nice. And I found that even in the reverse grip, the meat of my hand goes into this choil right here, and it fits like a glove. It just fits so nicely, and it's really comfortable. Someone would have to. This is really like, it feels like a fighting knife, just out of anything. And then the name being the Archangel, I'm kind of assuming a little bit more of like protection. That's just kind of what I'm boiling it down to, and it seems like this would be a good self-defense knife. You've got an almost 4-inch blade, damn near 4-inch blade, and they call it a trailing point, so that sweep on there does rise, but it's very centered to the knife. It's not curving too far up, so the sweep isn't going way up. So it's not exactly a Persian knife, but that trailing point seems about fair, in my opinion. Lanyard hole, I'm not a huge fan of lanyard holes. I think they're obsolete now. I don't see the reason for them unless you're backpacking and you need that extra to grab out of your pocket, then go for it. But I'm kind of very happy that knives are phasing out of the lanyard hole business, because I just don't see a use for them. They get snagged on stuff. They fall off when they wear, they tear, and then of course if somebody really wants to be a jerk, they can pull it out of your pocket that much easier because you're giving them more to grab, and I don't appreciate lanyards at all. They're nice for style and for that extra, if you need that extra thing to grab with your pinky, but I just don't see the point in that when you have a deep carry pocket clip and you got that lanyard sticking out. It just seems kind of silly to me. But hey, there's people out there that find it useful and they have their own reasons and their own taste, and that's absolutely fine. But me, get rid of them, man. That's my personal opinion. I don't care much for lanyards, and they just seem like a waste. Do what the whole, oh man, I got so many knife companies in my head. Artisan Knives does. They like to tuck away the lanyard inside of the liner, and I think that's really cool. It makes it less noticeable, and you don't have to use it if you don't want to, and it doesn't have to look like that, but that's fine. It doesn't, aesthetically it's okay, it works. Another thing, I can totally see why they call this the Archangel. Okay, now call me weird, But when I kind of tilt the knife this way, just ever so slightly this way, it actually looks like the body of an angel statue and the wing open. Now, the reason why I say that is because a long time ago when I was sitting at a fountain, there was angel statues. I looked on the side of an angel, and it looked like kind of what this would be a shadowed imitation from an angel from the side. You just don't see the shoulder or the head that would be over on this area. But the wing stretched out and the body down. It looks very reminiscent to an angel statue. And what's really cool is that somebody actually put these knives spine to spine with each other, and they just tilted both knives perpendicular to each other, and I don't even know if that's right terminology, perpendicular, I don't know, but they tilted it like that, so this side would be this side and this side would be that side, and it looked like kind of like a draped body portion, and then the blades looked like wings that were just sticking outwards. So I thought that was really cool. And then I actually saw it that way. I was like, you know what, that does look like a pair of wings. That does look pretty much like an angel, just without the head, because, there's nothing here. Otherwise, there'd be a head and shoulders right here. I mean, that's just my thing. I totally see that. And that's the first thing I thought of when they said Archangel, and I look at it, and I'm like, you know what, that does kind of look like a wing. This looks like a wing, just kind of at an angle slightly, because, that would be a pretty funky wing, and it's being all small. And then, of course, this being the body. So that's actually really cool. I don't know if Chad Los Banos saw that, or that's how he sees it. I can only imagine, I don't know if he was just sitting down one day and as he's designing a knife and he's, at a church or maybe at a fountain somewhere where there's another statue angel, and he's like, you know what, that kind of looks like a knife. I don't know. And he's drawing it out and he's like, this looks good. I don't know. That's just my interpretation of it, and I totally see it. And I saw it when they said, this is the Archangel, and I'm like, oh man, that's really cool. So awesome name. I wish they put it on the knife. I don't know why. I just think it'd be, because you see this and you're like, real steel, all right? Okay, what is this? You know what I mean? You don't really see, there's no numbers identifying it other than D2 steel. It would have been really cool to have, two little wings or a little angel statue, or I don't know, some small, nothing too huge to identify what the knife is. But still, cool name for a cool knife. I really dig that. This totally matches it. The Archangel, I love it. Fantastic. They did a good job. Chad, you did a fantastic job. And this is a very slicey knife. So before I go, I'm going to go ahead and slice some paper. Why not? It's all about getting the paper, There we go. All right, so I want to see how sharp this thing is. Yeah, wow, that was barely even trying, and that thing is... Whoa. I have my fan on, so... Yeah, that's pretty damn sharp. That is slicey. That is very, very slicey. I would hate to be on the receiving end of this. Yeah, this is a really nice knife. I like it. Not exactly 4 inches, but who the hell cares? I mean, yeah, it's a big knife. It's over 3.5 inches. That's going to be a big knife. Not a bad knife, though. I gotta say. It's, I really do like the blacked out version. I do like the silver version better, the satin, or whatever you want to call it. So many people call it so many different things now. I gotta say though, for it being a budget knife, this is fantastic. So it's one of those for the collectors if you are into this sort of thing, and for a user if you are somebody who needs a good knife that's got this kind of blade shape and you need it for work, this will work for you. But that's just me and my personal opinion. I like it. I really do. It's fantastic. It's really smooth on opening. You just got to get used to that. The only downside I have to say about this knife, the only gripe that I have, is the detent and the opening mechanism. It just seems just a little bit like it falls just a tad bit short, but it works. I mean, once you get used to it, once you get used to overcoming this part right here when you're opening the knife, it functions just fine. You just gotta, you know, different knives require different care, consideration, and all that good and happiness, so that's fine. Nothing wrong with that. There it is, everybody, the Archangel by Real Steel, Chad Los Banos. You can find it on Blade HQ. I think they only have 2 kinds, this one and the silver. I chose the micarta because I just have a taste for micarta. Deep carry pocket clip that is wire. It's just so good, so good. Anyways, go ahead and slash that like button, stab that subscribe, slice that bell icon so you guys are notified anytime that I post new stuff in these craziest of times. Please, everybody, be kind, be safe, carry responsibly, and I will see you all in the next video.